Hey everybody, Mr. B here and welcome to the channel. So I'm doing a bit of batch cooking today, taking some inspiration from Asia, and I'm gonna do this honey, soy, garlic, ginger glazed pork chop. You won't believe how easy it is. Done completely on the stovetop. Let me show you how it's done. Now, the first thing that we are going to do here, let me get my garlic and ginger out of the way, you come into play later, is we're going to mix up some dry seasonings and get the pork chops kind of patted down with this stuff. So we're going to keep it simple with a teaspoon of salt. Let's do a teaspoon of pepper. Recipe will be linked down into the description as usual, so be sure to go check that out. I'm going to do some garlic powder. Let's do some paprika. All this is fairly equal parts here. Onion powder, some dried thyme. And we're going to mix this well. Now we're going to liberally season our pork chops here. You're going to want to give everything a flip. Sure you're getting both sides really, really well and seasoned up. Whatever dried season I don't use, then I'm just going to keep that on standby. I might add a little bit to the sauce that we're going to make here, depending, if I need it or whatever. Let's give everything a pat. You'll also notice that I made up my little seasoning mix here in a separate container because, I'm getting my hands dirty and I don't want to do a lot of cross-contamination or try to avoid as much as I can, right? These are beautiful chops. What I had was a whole tenderloin that I'd purchased. You could do this with a pork tenderloin, kids. You want to start it on the stove and finish it in the oven. I just kind of felt like it would be easier to break it down into chops and do it this way. Okay, we're going to set this aside. Wash your hands. You can already tell how easy this is because we've already seasoned the pork chops. Now we're moving into making our sauce, and it's very simple. We are going to go with about a half a cup of honey. While it is doing that, let's get some garlic crushed up in it. I'm using a new garlic press. I've never been a fan of garlic presses, per se. So if you guys know a good brand of garlic press, please leave me a comment. Garlic is something I have to have, but I don't typically enjoy working with it. So let's see how this thing goes. Not bad. This is about 6 cloves of garlic if they were regular, normal size garlic. But mine are coming in pretty small, so I'm using, whatever the spirit told me to use. I'm going to add a little more honey to that. Just trying to get my honey to work out there. And I'm not measuring like a fool. But in any case, you're going to want about a half a cup of honey or so. Now, all right, we've got the garlic in. I'm going to take a little knob of ginger here. You could use the paste if you wanted. And I'm just going to grate this down in here till it wants to start to hit my knuckle. That's beautiful. We're going to do 2 tablespoons or so of some apple cider vinegar. And then I'm just going to give this a good, I'm forgetting a very, very important part here. This I will measure, about 1/4 cup of some soy sauce. Now I'm using low sodium because that's just what I do. And now we're going to whisk this together to fully incorporate this. And you'll feel the honey start to release itself in there. Beautiful. And we're going to let this sort of sit, get to know itself. And I'm going to move you over to stove cam, kids. In a large skillet here, I have some olive oil that I've heated up. Now this is scorching hot. Unfortunately, I don't have an iron skillet big enough to handle all of this in a single go. So I may not get the actual sear that would be amazing for this thing, but we're gonna do the best we can, kids. All right, let's get everything in. And we want to get as much color as we can in a non-stick as possible. But we're just browning these on both sides, not cooking them at this point until they're just done. Maybe about 2 to 3 minutes on each side. We'll give it a go and see how they do. A couple of minutes on each side, and we will give everything a nice split. That's picked up some fairly decent color. And we will let this go for about 2 to 3 minutes. Let the color develop on that side as well. So the second side looking pretty good. And now what we're going to do is we're going to lower our heat down to, about a 3, a low or something like that. And we are going to pour this sauce all over the pork chops, okay? Now, this is going to be our braising liquid until such time, I don't mean to jump ahead, that we are going to turn this into a sauce. So what I'm going to do here is cover this. And we're going to be looking for an internal temperature of around 140, 145. You could go ahead and pull it at 135, let it rest. It's going to, come on up to temperature at that point. Now, if you were making rice or something like that, particularly if you were doing that on a stovetop, now would be the time to get that started. By the time your rice or quinoa comes together, or you make your salad, or whatever you're going to want to pair with this, because it's going to pair wonderfully with anything, then it'll all come together at about the same time. So it's perfect for a weeknight. If you're enjoying this video, please hit that subscribe button, click like. It's totally free, helps me out. Come along for the ride, guys. Don't those look pretty frickin' amazing, if I say so myself. I'm gonna get a temp read on these. All right, these are beautiful. So what I'm going to do here, kids, is I am going to pull these out onto my platter. And we're gonna work on this sauce here. Now I'm going to crank my heat back up here, okay? And we're going to want this sauce to reduce by at least half, and it will start to thicken, get gooey and delicious. This is going to take just a few minutes. Meanwhile, if you're worried about your pork chops getting cold, you can put them in a warm oven or just tint them with a little bit of aluminum foil. As you can see, we're getting a nice, frothy, gooey glaze for our honey, garlic, ginger pork chops. A couple more minutes and I'm gonna call this done. Those sugars are really coming out there. That is gorgeous. And see how easy? Again, this recipe is versatile. I'm using pork here. If you're not into the pig, don't worry about it. Get you some chicken thighs, right? You could do this in the oven with an oven-safe skillet, and then just reduce your sauce on the stove if you so choose. It's just really one of those easy, but damn, does this pack a really good flavor. All right, guys, I'm gonna call that. Let this kind of cool just down a bit, and we're gonna get that on our delicious pork chops. Let's take this glaze and drizzle it over these pork chops. And you can reserve some for some dipping sauce. I'm gonna just go for it here, guys. Because you're getting all that good garlic and ginger in there as well. But wait, we're not finished. Let's give this a garnish with some fresh green onions. There, I should have done this next step first. Let's get some sesame seeds going on that. See what I'm talking about, kids? See what I mean? See what I mean? Maybe we hit it with stick down in there, something like that. Maybe a couple of sprigs of some fresh thyme on this baby. All right, guys, there you have it. Here, this is our honey, ginger, garlic, glazed pork chops. Let me grab a picture real quick, and we'll see what this thing tastes like. But I know it's going to be good. How could it not be good? I am dying to give this a try here. Guys, that is exactly what I wanted, exactly what the doctor ordered. You've got it's almost like a teriyaki thing happening there, which I'm not mad about at all. The ginger's coming through, garlic definitely coming through, and the sweetness of the honey and the saltiness there of the soy sauce is just banging on. Rice, salad, some veg. This will definitely change your Tuesday night pork chops, y'all. Hit subscribe, click like, come along for the ride, kids. We're going to see you next time. Cheers. Yeah.